Hey guys, welcome back. Carrie Jacobs here. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I uploaded a video where I looked back through some of my old artwork, but all along there was one right above my head that I completely forgot about. This one. When I first moved into this flat, I did a painting to decorate the walls with, but that was a few years ago now. But I think I could freshen this thing up, give it a new look, and I've got an idea what I want to do with it. So without further ado, let's get it off the wall and get it on the easel. So I started off with the process by painting over these lovely paintings with some black gesso. I don't normally get sentimental about painting over old paintings, but with this one I did. I think it's because it had been hanging in my living room for so long. I was a little bit hesitant about it, but ultimately I just did it. And the painting I'm going for is going to be a view over the Earth, and so I need a large circle for the Earth. So I'm tied a bit of string to this table leg and using it as a giant compass, which actually worked pretty well. And you can see after I did the first circle, I decided that I actually wanted a little bit shallower, little larger radius. So I had to move that out and have a second go at it. But yeah, I think it worked pretty well in the end. And first off, I'd like to thank Will for sending me the reference image that I'm using for this painting over to me on Instagram. So thanks a lot for that. I believe the image is from the European Space Agency or NASA, one of the two. It's a really cool image, and as soon as I saw it I thought, yes, I need to try and paint that. And if you have any images that you'd like to see me have a go at painting, or just any ideas in general for future videos, or anything you'd want me to have a go at, just bring them over to me on my socials. You'll find them in the description below, and I'd love to have a look at them. This painting quickly turned into a bit of a test of patience for me, because it was one of those paintings that just did not go well from the start. It wasn't going terribly, but it just looked really messy and awful, and I was really struggling to get the the look I was after. But I know from experience, whenever paintings feel like that, you just need to persevere with them a bit, put layer on layer, and just let it build up, and over time it will build into the painting that you're trying to achieve. It's just a matter of time and patience and perseverance, and that's true for whatever type of artwork you're trying to make. But I think especially so with painting. It can look really messy up until a certain point, and then suddenly it just falls into place and starts gelling, and you start to get your momentum, and that's when it really becomes fun. Up until that point, it's a bit of a slog. But and this painting definitely was a bit of a slog to start with. I really wasn't happy for a long time with it, but stuck with it, and I'm glad I did, because eventually I got to a point where I was starting to feel happy with it. But it wasn't for a little while yet. At this point, I was still really just blindly putting on layers and just kind of hoping something would eventually start working. But yeah, it looked a bit of a mess at the moment. So I'm afraid I'm not really going to be able to talk about what techniques I'm using here or anything like that, because I wasn't really sticking to a particular technique, because I was struggling with it a bit. I was just sort of trying lots and lots of different things and just waiting for something to stick. So I did find, I don't know why, maybe it's the green paint I was using, but I found my paint was breaking apart a lot, like it was really heavily diluted. Like if you water down acrylic paint too much, it kind of, the sort of the substance of it breaks apart, and it becomes very grainy and doesn't, you end up picking up more paint back onto your brush than you put down onto the canvas, and it was doing that a lot. I don't really know why, which is part of the frustration, but again, perseverance won through in the end. Another interesting problem I had with this painting was trying to make sure that all of the panels sort of lined up with each other. It's actually quite satisfying to see it all lined up in the end, because you've had to create each panel separately, and you'll see me kind of holding up the next panel along to make sure everything lines up like there occasionally. And yeah, that simple technique seemed to work pretty well. I did need to tweak a couple of things. Once it was up on the wall, I actually got up with a paintbrush once it was up on my living room wall, just to tweak a couple of the transitions. But other than that, yeah, it worked pretty well. And by this point, I'd also decided to ditch the reference image and just go for what I thought would look good. I was really struggling trying, because the original intention was to try and make it as photorealistic as possible, but because I was struggling with that so much, I thought, okay, I'll just loosen up, just play it by ear, and just stop looking at the reference image and just make it look as good as I can. And that really helped, like I said, loosen me up, and I really found a bit of momentum from that, and things started to go a little bit more smoothly. And although they may look like lava lakes, these are supposed to be artificial lighting, which comes a bit more into focus when I add a little bit more detail in a little bit. And in hindsight, I probably should have added more of this artificial lighting. I think it still looked a little bit like kind of lava lakes on the surface of the planet, rather than interconnected sort of large built-up areas, which is what it's supposed to be. And I may even go back later on and add that detail to it, but we shall see. For now, it's good enough. Okay, the painting's finished. It's up on the wall. Let's have a look, see what it looks like. So there we have it, I completed painting. This one was a real challenge for me. I'm glad I got through it though. Thanks again to Will for the suggestion, and if anybody else has suggestions for future video ideas, then make sure to send me a message on my socials, and I will have a look and see what I think. And if you give me an idea that I really like the look of, then I may well use it in a future video. But for now, that's all I've got time for. So until next time, cheerio.